大家好，又係我暗啊！咁而家我係身處我自己嘅 Airbnb 度啦。咁呢條影片咧係比較長嘅，就係我去 Hong Kong U 做我嘅 seminar 去講解我終極對暗網揭發佢嘅奧秘啊！如果你睇到最尾嘅話咧，請喺下邊留言。你睇到最尾 ，I love you guys. Yeah, it was 光宗耀祖 ，so 。
Hello, hi class. So before we start today's presentation, I want to introduce myself. My name is Deep Web Kid. I'm a Hong Kong-based, Canadian-born or raised YouTuber. Actually, if you guys have seen my content on Deep Web and Urban Legends, I really want to thank you guys. I should have my photo. This photo right here. It's actually me, so maybe you've seen it on YouTube. It's called 暗網仔2.0, Deep Web Kid 2.0, and I talk about a lot of urban legends. I talk about a lot of conspiracy theories, ghost stories sometimes, and internet phenomenon in general. I also have a second YouTube channel called 暗網仔. It's a guy, which is the next photo actually, and it doesn't have the blood on my face, but it's more like personal stuff. And that type of content. So I was actually really pleasantly surprised when the lecturers invited me to do this presentation because they said that a lot of you guys used my videos in your work, in your content. So who actually has used my videos in your work? Can I get a raise of hands of who's done that? No one here? Okay, maybe they're at home maybe, but But yeah, for those of you guys who did that, you're the reason I'm here. So I want to thank you guys for allowing me to do that. And I want to thank the lecturers for allowing me to be here. They gave me various questions on my phone that I'm going to base this whole presentation off of. So if we can go to the next photo, it's going to be quite a scary one actually. You guys have probably seen this. It's Momo. So I can say in the past 2 to 3 years, it is one of the most iconic urban legends to come out in the world. Basically, they say that this woman will hijack your WhatsApp, essentially send you messages and then make you kill yourself. But that's what all urban legends are essentially, because the reality is this is a Japanese art piece. And this photograph of this very scary looking woman was taken way out of context and essentially spread, all out the world on the internet and turned into this urban legend. So if you guys paid attention to 2018 to 2019, you should have seen this photo everywhere. And I think that's really the basis of our presentation today is urban legends usually have 2 levels to them in my opinion. There's the ones that are fantastical, the story-like elements of an urban legend, and the underneath part, which is the reality, the truth of it. And I think in all urban legends and scary stories, it's the way you think that really defines on what's going on. So can we go to the next photo? Is the theme of the first half of the presentation. It's a box. It's not just a box. It is to think out of the box is a very popular American phrase. It's how you think of certain things. And I think urban legends teach us in a way that thinks about everything in a different light. So as someone who grew up as an Asian person who grew up in Canada, I was always kind of different from, the white people of the norm. And all my life, I've always had to sort of be out of the box. And I think in Western society, that's a thing that's applauded. But in Eastern society, it's always like following one way of thought, or like following a patriarchy, or following your father's footsteps, or what society thinks. So in urban legends class, actually, in Hong Kong U, I was surprised, and I actually expect people like you guys to really be more thinkers out of the box, and that's why you're here. And that's what I really find true about urban legends, is to look at one situation. Like an image I always use is a woman in a red dress. A woman in a red dress in Hong Kong as opposed to Taiwan, as opposed to the United States. It's all just a woman in a red dress. But the way we interpret that woman, is she a ghost? Is she like something bad or something good. It really reflects on the culture itself rather than just the image of that. And I think the Momo example I used, it was just a sculpture, of this weird looking woman, but then it was turned into something else in Spanish speaking communities, or even Hong Kong. It was very popular during 2018 to 2019 as well. So can we go to the next photograph of, so these are, one of the questions that the lecturers gave me is why I was so concerned, or why I like paranormal things so much. And I think paranormal things is exactly what I was talking about, thinking out of the box and telling stories that generally, like a car ride home or something like that, something very simple can be turned into a story of its own because of your way of interpreting that. So can I get the next photograph? So you guys have seen this urban legend. It's called the Slenderman. So around 8 to 9 years ago, it was extremely popular in the United States. It was this weird looking white figure, in various black and white photographs. And of course, in the end, it was turned out to be fake. Even if you guys know this Hong Kong YouTuber called Professor Pow Pow, he actually made a video debunking this whole Slenderman theory as well. And why I bring that up is because in the next photograph, I'll show you this symbol. This is a YouTube channel called Horror Studio One I ran back in around 2015. And during that time, I made a lot of videos about Slenderman, about ghost stories, and about urban legends. And from 2015 to 2018, I made 1,400 videos on all these topics. As we were talking about the digital age before and social media and all that stuff, I also feel like social media and that kind of stuff can be inspirations for us as well. Because one of the questions asked to me was, how do I conduct my research and how should I advise you guys to conduct your research? Back when I was in university, when I wrote essays, all the research I did always had to be cited sources, so news articles, essays. But ever since doing YouTube, like this thing right here, I would find stories on Reddit, which is an internet forum, and then I would narrate that. Now, is that intellectual property theft? Is that, a breach of copyright law? On some level, I am taking someone else's work and putting it in my own, but I'm also using it in a transformative way through the channel of my own voice, of my own creativity. So in some regards, I feel like that is okay. And that is what really inspires me to do my research in terms of the paranormal, is to take inspirations from other sources and then through my own channel, put it out. So if you guys have seen my videos on the internet, you guys have probably seen me cite so many different sources. That's where I get this from, like that's where I base this off of, and it's really important, I think. So yeah, that's the quote I want to round up this whole thing, is good artists copy and great artists steal. The meaning for that is a lot of good artists or lazy people would just take someone else's work and call it their own when they're doing research, when they're doing these kinds of topics. But great artists steal is not actually plagiarism. This quote is often misquoted. It's actually saying you can be inspired by other people and then through yourself or by copying them, but giving your own elements to it, then just it becomes totally something else. And I think that's very adamant with what I do. And we can see the next photograph. These are all the YouTubers that I steal from. Like I would say I steal from them, but there's one example that's very popular. On my YouTube channel, there's a series called 網絡傳記人物. So it's internet biographies of online personalities. In all these, this is called the commentary community of YouTube. They do that a lot, but I took that idea and made it into my own sort of thing. Like I would do biographies on Hong Kong YouTubers, Taiwanese YouTubers, Hong Kong celebrities, and that became its own thing. So did I really steal from these guys? The format is similar, but because it became out of me and I stole that concept and it came back out of me creatively, it was just my own thing, I think, and I just was inspired by them. So that's just one way I conduct my research with the online stuff. So the topic that you guys are probably really thinking about is because I'm, deep web kid, And the deep web is a very fascinating topic. And I feel like the deep web, what is the deep web? Okay, what is the deep web? A lot of people think, okay, I heard many stories about it. Man, is there people killing people? Is there people eating human flesh? Can you hire someone to kill your friend? Like, can you do all that kind of stuff? Actually, just a very simple idea. What we see every day on the internet, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the YouTubes, the Google search, is actually what's known as, well, the surface web that we can all access. Now, if you go deeper than that, the deep web, it's the stuff that only you can access. So let's say your bank account information, your Facebook Messenger, your Instagram direct message. That's all basically the deep web, if you want to call it that. But what's the dark web? I think the dark web is what everyone is really fascinated about and where all the urban legends tend to be. So what's that? Okay, maybe you go there and you find someone, you can hire someone to kill someone, or child pornography, you know, or buying weapons, or buying drugs, or hacking other people. That's where really the dark web is, and that's, well, they say it's like the majority of the internet is that. What we use on a daily basis, the WhatsApps, the WeChats, the Instagrams, is just like the tip of the iceberg, so it's like 10% of the entire spectrum. So if we can go to the next picture. In my idea though, the deep web has been turned into Hollywood. Why is that? It's because all the ideas of the deep web have been so manipulated into this fantastical thing. And I think that in terms of urban legends, it's also a very true thing. You know, I've been on the deep web making videos for the past 2 years, and never have I once had someone knock on my door and be like, hey, I found your address on the deep web. One of the questions asked to me was, what is the most interesting story you came upon on the deep web, or the most memorable experience? I'm gonna share with you guys, and it has nothing to do with all the urban legends on the place you've heard. So can we go to the next photo and I'll show you? Yes, a banana, okay. Why is there a banana? I did not buy a banana off the deep web. Back when I was doing my first 暗網仔 deep web kit channel, 1.0, 1.0, I actually bought male enhancement pills off the deep web. So, not that I need them, okay, but it was to make a video. And I gave them my address, I gave them the Bitcoin, which is the next photo that we have. And you know, I paid for it all, but it never came. It never came. And I made a video about it never coming as well. And I think that really shows the reality of what that place is. It's really just a marketplace. A marketplace where they buy and sell stuff, no matter what it may be. So if you're looking for, you know, drugs that are too taboo to find or stuff like this, that's really what it is beyond everything. And one of the biggest things they sell, and I think one of the scariest experience I've had doing content is the next photo. And I'm actually kind of like repulsed just showing this guy's face. So if you guys don't know, I made a video on this 1 year ago. It's a man called Peter Scully. So he's an Australian man who fled to the Philippines and made various child pornographic videos of him like abusing and raping kids. And one of the most popular videos he did was a video called Daisy's Destruction, where it was circulated all over the deep web with a lot of buyers. So as disgusting as this is, and in the end, of course, he was caught, it really shows like, it really shows what kind of a marketplace a deep web is. This is a real person, and this is a real crime that happened there. So if you think about like the urban legends and all the scary, you know, blah 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 stuff, just think about it's actually just a place where people do crime and buy and sell for business. Like, see it as, in my opinion, like, you know, you go to those marketplaces, it's very similar to that. It's a place that's unregulated, and you just go and buy and sell whatever you want. And in this case, like the scariest case, it's child pornography. It's, you know, children getting hurt for a video, for a movie. So if we go to our next, okay, so before we end the presentation, I think you guys might know who this guy is. He's a very popular Hong Kong YouTuber called Gang Ling Lo, and I know this guy. He's imitated me. He's like a friend of mine, but our last segment of this presentation is, if you want to be a YouTuber or you want to do social stuff online right now, is it easy? Is there a big community of individuals in this kind of stuff? I think in general the Hong Kong YouTube community is smaller than most of the world. And aside from this, I think the most popular person that we have that does urban legend stuff, besides me, is Professor Pow Pow. And I know him as well, we've talked before, but in reality there's only the two of us, and if you're thinking of just doing it to get famous like YouTube, I think it might not work out unless you're really passionate about what you do. So if I were to give advice on how to be a YouTuber in this day and age, I think just filming yourself vlogging will not really work that well unless you're like a celebrity already. You gotta be like really charismatic or your vlogs are really exciting. But I think being a YouTuber now, if you want to do this kind of stuff, is to find something you're really passionate about. And like, even if you do it and you may or may not get the views, even if you do or not, I think at least you won't regret it, and you'll be happy. And I think that's the most important thing right now. So if I were to give advice, do something that you love. So I love urban legends, and I hope you guys do too. So thank you for watching this performance that is the end. Thank you.